So it's been 6 months and you haven't paid your credit card, and all of a sudden you see your credit score actually drop by over 100 points because you got a charge off. You're scared, you're worried, and then you get back home and you see a letter from a debt collector telling you they're going to sue you and trying to intimidate you even while you're at work. Well, what do you do in this case? Do you pay it off? Do you ignore it? Or do you move to Mexico? The answer is you don't have to do any of that stuff, but in this video, I'm gonna share with you guys exactly a formula, a system to get those charge-offs off your account without having to pay the debt, but also give you a plan on negotiating the debt, and that way, if you do wanna pay it off, you can, but you won't have to pay off the full amount, and on top of that, also make sure that the charge-off on your account, your credit reports actually gets removed, because sometimes they try to trick you, you pay it off, but it still remains there, and now since you did pay it off, they're not interested in negotiating any longer. So in this video, I'm gonna break down exactly what you should do to make sure everything goes smoothly. Now, if you guys don't know me, my name is TommyBryson. I'm an accountant and I upload videos on YouTube every single day. Subscribe to the channel, hit the bell so you get notified, and also do me a favor and also destroy the like button. Now, the first thing is this, guys. Although we are talking about charge-offs, bankruptcies, all this bad stuff in your credit score, I want you guys to comment down below and let me know what is your goal for your credit score by the end of the year 2020. If you ask me, I think that the negative is like, you can remove it step by step. That's no problem there. However, what is your goal for 2020 and how are you going to take action to actually make sure you get that goal? For example, I want to have an over like 800 credit score by the time 2020 ends, but on top of that, my goal is to actually make sure I pay down all my debt, and that way my credit utilization goes down, and guess what? Now my score bounces up to near that rate. So that's my plan of execution. Comment down below and let me know, what do you want to do? Do you want to remove things, pay down your debt, or on top of that, do you want to remove late payments? Comment down below, let me know. And now the basic idea for this video is to give you guys 3 different ways to actually make sure you do everything correctly, and that way it gets removed from your credit report. Whether you want to pay it off, dispute it as in not pay it, or number 3, you want to hire someone to actually do the entire process for you. So in this video, I'm going to break all those factors down to make sure you get the perfect solution for exactly what your goals are when it comes to your credit report. Now, number 1 is this, okay guys? Well, Tommy, what if I really do want to pay it off and I don't want to have the entire charge off on my credit report for the next 7 years, because that's how much it lasts, okay? Now, the answer is this, guys. You want 2 things here. You want to A, negotiate. Number 2 is you want to get a written letter saying that they're going to remove it from your credit report, because if they don't give you a written letter, then it's not really guaranteed they actually remove it from your credit report, because again, they don't really have to. So you have to negotiate everything. So now, before you actually start negotiating, what you do want to do is basically ask for a validation letter. Now tell me, what is this exactly? The answer is a validation letter basically tells you exactly what the debt is all about with all the information, and if anything is wrong in that letter, you can dispute it, which I will talk about later on in number 2. But for right now, tell me, how do I negotiate with someone that has a set dollar amount that I actually owe? How do I negotiate that down? Well, the answer is, guys, you have to understand, right? For example, if my name is Tommy, which it is, and I got a phone from T-Mobile, and I paid, for example, for this phone right here, $1,000, okay? And T-Mobile said, Tommy, you haven't paid us in 6 months, we're gonna charge it off, and they charge it off, okay? The person that buys this debt is called a debt collector, a collection agency. They buy the debt for cents on the dollar. So they might buy it for 10 cents every dollar, 20 cents every dollar, and in reality, for $1,000, it might have cost them only $100 to $300 max. So what do you do here, Tommy? The answer is you want to negotiate with them down the debt, because you know for a fact they did not pay the full price. So you say, hey, I want to pay this off in full today. I have some cash. However, I don't have this full amount right here. So I can offer to pay you X amount, and if you do accept it, well, I want this in return. Tommy, what exactly am I asking for here? And where do I start when it comes to negotiating? Well, you want to start between 50% to 30%, and that way you get a massive discount when it comes to the debt you originally got, but they also make a profit, so they're more entitled and more kind of like in the loop when they want to actually help you get what you want, because they want to get paid and meet their quota, and also make sure they have everything go fine for them, because at the end of the day, guys, they're a company and they just want to make a profit off of you, okay? But you want to be smarter than they are, and that's the point here. So number 2 is this, guys, okay? Once you negotiated, you want to ask for what you want, and what you want is a written physical letter stating that once you pay it off, they will remove the charge off from your credit report. If they can't offer you this, say like, hey, can I speak to someone that can do it? Because sometimes the person talking to you right now on the phone does not have the authority. So you want to talk to someone that does have the authority, and if they say no, we can't do it, you say like, hey, I'm sorry, but I don't know what to do here. This is the only way it's gonna happen. And by the way, the only way they can actually get the money from you is by suing you. And even when they sue you, there's no guarantee they actually get the money, and probably you don't want to go to the trouble. So if you offer them a very good deal plus the letter, no deal here, then it's more probable you actually get a better deal, and that way you're good to go. However, guys, okay, well, Tommy, what's step number 3 here? The answer is, if they signed the letter, the agreements, stating everything, saying, hey, he's going to pay this much, we negotiate it down, on top we're going to take it off his entire credit report, and all this stuff, well, once they sign that agreement and fax it back to you, well, now send them a check for the full amount, a certified check, and that we have a record of it. And also, if it's not removing a credit report within 3 months, okay, take all those documents and send a letter to the credit bureaus, all 3 of them, stating, hey, I paid it off, we had an agreement, and they will have to make the correction for you, okay? Don't worry about it, just send all the documents and make sure you have a record of everything. That's the point here. But before you try this, guys, okay, I want you guys to confirm you're not getting scammed. But later on in the video, I'll show you guys exactly how to make sure you don't get scammed with some of these companies. But for right now, if this doesn't work, well, now you have to do number 2. If they say no, you have to do number 2, which is basically dispute everything and try to get the entire case thrown off out of your entire credit report. Tell me, how exactly do I do this? Well, the answer is this, guys. If you want to dispute it and get it removed altogether, well, what you have to do is basically, when you ask for the validation letter, you have to review the entire thing and make sure everything on that piece of paper is correct. Anything that's wrong could get it thrown off potentially. So for example, your account number, your creditor's name, your open date, your charge-off date. On top of that, the payment history, your name, and even the balance. If anything is wrong with your records, well, it gives you space to actually dispute it, and potentially, if they can't verify it, they have to throw it off altogether, which is a huge benefit for you, but also extremely rare sometimes. So what exactly do I do here, Tommy? Well, once you ask for the validation letter, you want to get a copy of your credit report by requesting one for free online. The third step is you want to compare everything, and if nothing matches, then you want to send in a letter stating nothing matches, and then you want to basically get the entire thing thrown off. The fourth thing is this, guys. If it doesn't work, you want to hire someone to actually get everything done for you. Now, Tommy, what letter do I write and how do I write it? The answer is I have a template down below. It's a link. Hit the link and then copy everything into a Word document, and that way you don't have to pay for anything, okay? That's the goal here. I don't want you spending money, so it's all free. So just hit the link, okay? Then copy the entire thing, and that way you're good to go. No money you have to spend, okay? And on top of that, I also included a link to a step-by-step guide when it comes to disputing and how everything works. So link down below if you want to check that out, because again, everything is down there in the description to make sure you follow all the steps correctly without having to be like, oh, what about this and that? No, everything is right down below, and that way you don't have to watch this video like 15 times, okay? Now, number 3, guys. Well, Tommy, I tried everything. I'm tired. I don't want to deal with it. The answer is number 3 is you can hire an expert to get the entire job done for you. But in reality, an expert is just going to Google how to do it, okay, most of the time. And it's like a 10 clicks away on Google, so you can do it yourself if you want to. But if you don't want to deal with it, it's fine. I recommend you check out credit.com. They'll help you with the entire process, and that way they can help you throughout the entire case if everything aligns. But sometimes you'll have to pay it, but you have to negotiate and try all these steps first, because what's the sense of paying something off if it doesn't make any sense? Oh, and by the way, guys, if your debt is about to be over the statute of limitation, like basically like over 7 years, they can't collect it anymore, okay? So basically, if you're on the 6th year, it might not be worth it to try to pay it off this year. So just like let it like expire basically, and that way you're good to go. But before you go, guys, I want to give you guys 5 tips to make sure everything goes smoothly with this process, okay? Again, all the links I mentioned are down below so you don't get lost at any point. The first tip is this, guys. If none of this stuff works and the only option is to pay it off in full, you might want to consider, hey, do I pay it off or do I just let it expire? The answer is it's all up to you. In my case, I would pay it off in full because it would make a lot of sense, but only with a letter, no deal here. But the main thing is you have to consider exactly where you are in life and what you want to do, okay? That's the entire point here. But you want to hire a professional, try it out yourself, and try to dispute it also. Try everything out before you decide to like, hey, I'm not going to do anything about it. Just try everything out first, because it will affect you for the next 7 years, and that could potentially hurt you for the rest of your life, okay? Now, tip number 2, guys, here is that basically sometimes people pass away and then debt collectors try to collect from family members. The answer is no, okay? tell them I'm not the person that owes the money, and I will sue if you try to collect from me, okay? And if they do try to keep pushing and pushing and pushing, well, reach out to a lawyer and speak to them. Again, reach out to credit.com and they'll help you with the entire process, because again, that is not fair and that should not be happening. And number 3 is, guys, every now and then you get an Indian guy on the phone saying, hey, you have to pay your debts right now today, and if you don't pay it off today, I'm gonna call a lawyer, the police, you have to pay right now, we're gonna ruin your credit score. The answer is, first of all, they can't do that, okay? They can't threaten you. So in reality, that's not fair, that's not cool. But in reality, it might mean that it's just a scam, okay? So how do you confirm and make sure it's not a scam? The answer is you want to ask for a few pieces of information. For example, what is your name? What company do you work for? And on top of that, I need a validation number. If they say no to this information right here, it's very likely that it's actually a scam. So you want to stay away from those people, because usually collectors, they can't be like so forward on you. And on top of that, they're required by law to give you all the information. So if they're not giving it to you, well, it's probably a scam, okay? So use common sense for this and make sure you don't get scammed, and then check someone when in reality you don't owe any money whatsoever, okay? Now, and number 4, guys, is basically, Tommy, just ignore everything. That's what I hear all the time. Like, don't even answer the phone, don't do anything. If you get a summons letter to your house and go to court, ignore it also. The answer is no. You don't want to do that at all, okay? What you do want to do is basically, if you get summoned to court, you want to attend, because if you don't attend, by the way, get a lawyer, by the way. If you don't attend, that can potentially give them the right to actually garnish your wages and then take the money out your account, okay? At whatever rate they actually want to. So make sure you attend the court dates, because if you don't, that could hurt you potentially a lot when it comes to your cash flow and your assets, okay? Because they will take the money out your bank account from your wages. So avoid that. Don't just ignore everything. That's not the way to do it, okay? That's not true. So it's a myth. It's a myth, basically. And the last tip is, guys, basically, if you got the entire thing disputed and still contact you all the time, you want to write them a formal letter saying, hey, I disputed it. I don't want any communication with you guys. And basically, by law, they have to stop trying to communicate with you, okay? So basically, I have a link down below to that letter. Check it out. It's a template. You can actually use that letter right now. And that way, you can send them the letter and they have to stop contacting you by law, or you can potentially sue them also. And then guess what? Now you're collecting the money from the debt collector, which is like an irony, but it is very true, okay, guys? But that's basically it for this video. Comment down below and let me know, are you going to try this or not? Or are you just going to ignore it? Comment down below. Let me know. By the way, if you're going to Mexico to move over there, to avoid this, just send me a link. I want to go there also, so don't just leave me here in America. But guys, as always, if you guys enjoyed this video, like this video, really appreciate it. On top of that, make sure to subscribe to my channel right now, hit the bell so you get notified. On top of that, if you want to talk to me one-on-one, uno, just DM me on Instagram, TommyBryson. And on top of that, if you want to watch a full video on how to pay off your debts, then watch this video right here. And if you also want to subscribe to my channel right now, click my face right here. And see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for watching, and as always, peace.